Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Hello, and welcome to Where Energy Meets the Divine. I'll be your host for the next hour, approximately. I'm recording today on the day before Christmas in the U.S. I'm actually in North Carolina with my daughter's family. They now have a new addition, a little boy. So I'm here celebrating Christmas with all of them. And this will air in a few days, the day after Christmas. So happy holidays to everyone, regardless of what you celebrate. I wish you great and wonderful, wonderful, wonderful holidays. Before we go to our phone lines, and if you hear the rambunctious energy of a young family, so be it. You just might hear a 4-year-old or a newborn or dogs, since I'm not home recording in my studio. But since we're on the precipice of a new year and we're all about to celebrate incredible holiday season, I want to talk about where I would love your focus to be. Remember, I tend to attract old soul type people into the work that I do, even into listening to the podcast that I create. Not typically young souls. Young souls aren't really interested in, advanced soul awareness kind of work that we do and talk about. All the techniques that I teach you are advanced techniques in the field of energy medicine, consciousness healing, mediumship. They're all advanced, every single one of them. They may sound simple enough, but if you've tried them, you know that they take a little bit of practice, perhaps. Some patience on your part, like falling in love with yourself, is a practice and takes some patience. But I wanted to talk about, especially for the new year in 2025, I would love it if your focus was you over and over and over again. Because you are old soul types, you know how to focus on other people effortlessly, and you know how to unconditionally love them, you know how to care for them. You already know this. You've practiced this for centuries. You're great at it. It's just kind of a natural part of who you are. But if you want to manifest and create something for your own life that's going to make you feel fulfilled, you have to focus on yourself. And what happens when people are just doing their daily chores or working or chasing around a 4-year-old, their brain can go off into places where they're focused on something that never happened, focused on something that could happen, but they're not focused on themselves. They're focused on this huge story that usually when it starts, the thought process starts, it's unconscious. You don't even realize that you're focusing on something that's not even happening. It's a complete waste of your energy, your time. And it doesn't help you to move into the manifesting aspect of your true desires. So when that happens, hopefully you have the joy of recognizing, like, oh, I'm thinking about this thing that's not even pleasant. May never happen, never has happened to me so far. And I've just spent 30 minutes unconsciously putting a lot of energy towards it. What a waste, right? So you're going to be nice to yourself, of course, but you go, good job for catching yourself. Great job. And then if you could refocus on your own desires, refocus on what brings you joy, refocus on what you want to accomplish in 2025 and beyond, not what could happen that you don't like. That's not where I want you to have your energy. If you are feeling selfish in 2025, you're on the right track. I think people, old soul types who focus on themselves, are happier. They actually give in ways that are really fulfilling to others and rewarding to themselves. But because they stay focused on their own needs and happiness and ambitions, they become quite successful in all that they attempt to accomplish and create. And I think I've talked about this one interesting manifesting technique. It's in the book called The Energy Cure, written by a professor that teaches out of Virginia, Bankston. And it's called cycling. He uses it and does research for healing for others. That's not my favorite way. I love it for individuals to use it for themselves. I think it's an incredible tool. Cycling, it's where and you can read it in his book, or you could get the audio book and listen to it. I believe it's in chapter 4, the cycling method. And you write down a minimum of 21 things that you want to have happen in your life. And they can't be all related. They really do need to be different. And let's say you've been thinking about something all day that's not even connected to what you desire. It's not happening in your life, but it's a fear factor thing. And then you catch yourself and you go, I'm going to cycle for a few minutes. What if you wake up in the middle of the night? Cycle. That's what one of my friends does, is she cycles if she wakes up in the middle of the night. So the premise is that you can read about this or listen to it on audio, The Energy Cure. You make a little visual for each little thing that you want. And they don't have to be little things. They could be big things, but it's just a sentence or a word. And then you move it very quickly in your mind for several minutes, rotating it through almost like flashcards or a Rolodex. I like to listen to very fast jazz music while I cycle. And if you practice this, because there is a practice in this aspect, in this manifesting technique, you're going to become really good at manifesting, really, and you're going to learn to teach yourself to focus on your own priorities, your own needs, and what makes you happy. This is, I think, priceless, to be focused on you. The world will get a lot out of it if you focus on your own needs. Old souls can provide a lot for the world and the universe if they're able to allow themselves to invite and celebrate and experience real joy for their own personal happiness. So I invite you to figure out how you're going to get back to you in your dreams versus that thing that could happen, maybe, probably won't, that you're putting a lot of energy to, that's just outpouring into nothing. So that's my invitation for you for 2025. I think it would be a great thing. What I like to do sometimes, I may not even cycle. I could be folding laundry, which I've been folding laundry here in North Carolina, more so than when I do at home. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking of something that's useless. It's not helpful. And I will just go, okay, what about me? And I'll just think about something that I hope to manifest. And it just shifts my entire focus. I feel completely energized. I'm now pouring energy towards something that's very positive and helpful for me. So you could simply do that and create a quicker outcome that's desirable in terms of what you want in this lifetime. And that's really what it's all about. We come collectively as a group of beings to learn how to manifest in the physical realm, because it's different versus the non-physical. Everything's different in the non-physical. And to learn to manifest here means you can pretty much manifest anything, no matter where you are in whatever dimension. It's a lot easier if you can learn to do it here. I'm going to go to the phone lines now and answer some questions, which is something that brings me great joy. When I answer intuitive questions, I'm not thinking about the solution. I'm not searching for the answer. I'm allowing the answer to come to me. So part of my delight in that is the surprise I'm having internally. Like, you may not know that I'm surprised by what I'm saying, but I am the majority of the time. It's nothing my mind would say, typically. So I'm sitting in my own being, feeling more aware and conscious and grounded in my own body as I'm then relaying the information that comes to me. And it surprises me. Intuition is always surprising. Always, always, always. Before my most recent, this is my 6th grandchild in 7 years that's been born. So you can only imagine what a busy grandmother I've been. And still am a very busy grandma. And, the hope was that I would be able to come to North Carolina when my daughter would go into labor, or be here while she went into labor, so that I can watch her oldest, because they don't have a lot of family here. They do have a person that was a great potential helper if this person was in town, depending on when my daughter went into labor. And that person did end up helping. But every time my daughter and I talked about it on the phone, I didn't have any logical reason for this, but I just felt calm. Like whatever happens, their oldest child is going to be very happy. She's going to be content. She's not going to miss them. She's going to have fun. But although I didn't know what was going to happen, I just felt this peace and calm about it. So I was flying in the air on the 19th of December. And by the time I landed, my daughter had gone into labor. And the person who's the backup person who lives locally was already at the house taking care of Florence. And then, I got a car from the airport and was able to, spend 2 days with Florence while her parents were with the baby in the hospital. So whenever you have these calm hunches about things, and you don't have to completely understand it, it doesn't really matter, but obviously my intuition was correct. There was nothing for us to fret about. My daughter created a great backup plan. I really hoped I could be here because I was with my other 2 grandchildren who were waiting for for their sibling to come home from the hospital with their parents. I got to be with them. So I really wanted to be with Florence too during this really special, incredible time in their life where their whole life is going to change forever. Everybody is, even the new baby's life is changing forever. So if you have those experiences of calm, then you really are meant to devote your energy to that, not to the, what if this happens? What if that happens? That's a waste of your time and energy. The universe has spoken. It has told you, and it doesn't make sense. You don't know why. I mean, the baby, according to modern medicine, was due on the 25th of December, which would be tomorrow, Christmas. And my daughter felt the baby would be due on the 20th. The baby actually was born on the 19th, almost midnight. So my daughter was really close. She was more accurate than modern medicine's way of determining a delivery date. But start to trust those feelings you have in yourself, and everything comes back to the calm. Even real joy is calmful. Real happiness is calm. It's peaceful. There's a peaceful aspect to intuition. You're on the right track. You're doing all the right things. There's a calm. And so as you're practicing joy and high frequency, notice that there'll be peace in your body, in your mind, in your world. And that's a really great thing to trust, is the peace. It probably will make no sense to your logical mind. Like even when I booked my flight, my daughter and I talked about it. I booked my flight. And we're like, well, this feels right. We didn't know why it felt right, but it did. And because I'm going to leave the day after Christmas. So she had gone into labor, at Christmas even, I wouldn't have been here for the whole time to be with Florence. Okay, now I'm going to, for sure, go to these phone lines.
Hi, Marie. My name is Maddie, and I'm from the greater Seattle area. And I love your podcast. I was recommended by a friend, and I've been an avid listener. But so I just wanted to ask, I'm going through a very difficult time in my life, and I understand that this is about me finding my voice and myself again. And my husband and I, who I love dearly, are in separation, possibly headed towards divorce. That's kind of what it looks like. And I just want to know what insight you have about the situation. I feel that I am intuitive in many ways, but this process has really blocked a lot of that intuition for me. And so I'm just seeking answers, but at the same time trying to let go. So it's a very interesting process. And, it was my understanding that we were soulmates and meant to be. And just through this process and how it's been handled,
Right.
It doesn't feel that way. So
Right.
just looking for any guidance or insight that you might have about the situation moving forward, my husband, myself, whatever Spirit tells you. So thank you so much. I appreciate you more than you know, and I hope you're having a beautiful and blessed day. All right, bye.
Thank you, Maddie. And I'm so sorry for the upcoming divorce, because I do think you will divorce. And you probably said this question several months ago. So you might already be divorced, but in the States, it takes a little bit longer, I think, than other places potentially. I don't like the term soulmate. It is not my favorite phrase, and certainly not what I would look for in a partner. I've had a soulmate relationship. I was married for 21 years, and I would call it a soulmate relationship. So a soulmate is here to help you grow your soul. And so to help grow the soul, that means some contractual things need to be brought to light so you can work on them. I always think people should look for earthmates. I want all my friends to be earthmates. I want my children to be my earthmates, people, my partners, people that you play with and have fun with on earth, who are supportive of you, no matter what you learn or don't learn. Even if you don't grow an inch, you want an earthmate, someone to play with. So I'm not a fan of the whole soulmate term in terms of partnership. I mean, many people have them, and it is effective. People tend to grow. The first thing I heard while I was listening to your question is stop paying attention to him, because you've put your whole focus on him, how to make him better, how to make him happier, how to keep things together so that your relationship can stay together, because you don't want a divorce, and I don't blame you. I never wanted one either until all of a sudden I did. I never imagined that I would ever be divorced. So your focus needs to be on you. This is what you're learning to do, because you put so much energy into this other person, who this other person actually loved that you did this. You know, there's a selfishness to your soon-to-be ex-partner, which is fine. When we attract people who have that selfish kind of tendency, it's to help an old soul to learn to be selfish, which is critical for old souls to thrive. So you don't want a soulmate as a partner. You want an earth mate, a mate that you can play with and grow with and have fun with, who doesn't care how far you grow and you don't care how far they grow. You just have so much fun with each other. It's not work. It's joyful. It's playful. Earthmate. And you want your kids to be your earthmates. You want your friends to be your earthmates. You want neighbors who are earthmates. I love it when I have neighbors that are earthmates. I have this one neighbor who I just really love their family. You know, we give each other little treats. I have talked about her before on the podcast because my dog Charles was best friends with her dog that just passed. But I enjoy earthmate people in my life because it makes it more fun and more enjoyable. It's easy. It's not complicated. Yeah. So those are my thoughts. Focus on yourself. Don't think about him anymore. Don't try to help him. Even if you stay together forever, which is your decision or your choice, older souls naturally care about others. But when they get hyper-focused on other people and helping them, they completely ignore their own joy and happiness. And I think that's a waste. Okay. All right. Good luck with everything, too.
Hello, Marie. My name is Kathy. I've had trigeminal neuralgia for 5 or 6 years.
So sorry.
I have done 4 years of acupuncture, 6 years of chiropractic, 2 years of light laser, and it seems to be getting worse. Mm-hmm. And I know we heal ourselves.
Yeah.
So if there's anything you could do or anything you could see for me to start helping myself, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So what Kathy is describing about, it's a nerve issue. It means it's in the face, actually. It's very painful. Like the nerves are reactive. And so you have a lot of facial pain. Now, because the face is home to the nose and the mouth and the eyes, you know, major senses, your ears are on your head. So that means a lot of what's going on in the face is governed by the third eye, because the third eye governs your senses in the physical world and then your multisensory abilities. So one's psychic or intuitive abilities. So what this means to me, Kathy, is you've been ignoring your intuition for a long time. And you're a stubborn gal. Stubborn, in my opinion. You can disagree with me, of course. So you have to learn to let go. You have to learn to surrender. And I think having pain and learning how to let go can be challenging because it's right there practically in your case, absolutely in your face. And now I'm asking you to surrender, let go, don't pay attention to it. And I think that could be hard for you. But that's what I'm going to recommend that you do is surrender and start practice using your intuition. you have used your logical mind and you're a little confused between logic and intuition. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. But intuition is calm. It's surprising. It goes against the logical mind. At least it always does for me and everyone that I've taught. Always. Just even like how my brain was like, after I booked, months and months ago, the time to be here where hopefully Misha would give birth and I could be with Florence and celebrate the holidays together with my son-in-law as well. My mind would go, okay, well, hopefully I picked the right time. But I would stop that. I wouldn't allow my mind to keep reevaluating because I felt so much calm. So this has a lot to do with you ignoring your highly strong intuitive nature. That's what this is about. So if you've taken any intuitive classes, I would practice the techniques that you enjoyed or thought were helpful for you. If you haven't taken an intuitive class, I would highly consider taking one. I know I'll be teaching 2 coaching programs in winter, so January after the holidays. I know one is about psychic ability and one is about mediumship. So that's going to be fun. I love to teach, as you all know. It's one of my favorite things. And people do very well in my classes. They excel, they grow enormously. They get the attention and the knowledge and the information that they need. And then because these classes attract like-minded people, they create a community for themselves to keep the learning happening and the connection. So that would be my thoughts. You certainly don't have to take a class from me. You could even read a book if you wanted to. I hope you feel better soon. I'm sending you energy, by the way.
Hi, Marie. My name's Andrea. I contracted genital herpes about 20 years ago in my early 20s, and I am constantly plagued with outbreaks and have been for years. I have probably at least 1 outbreak a month. And I know for most people that have herpes, they have outbreaks, 2 to 3 times a year.
Right.
I'm an otherwise healthy person. I take really good care of myself, and I feel that I'm healthy. So I'm just perplexed as to why I constantly have outbreaks. I've tried so many different, herbal remedies and, worked with many different healers. And I just can't figure this out. So if you have any insights into anything that could help me heal from this, that would be so much appreciated. Thank you so much for the work that you do and for holding the light and the love for all of us. Thank you, Marie.
You're welcome, Andrea, and I'm so sorry this has been a challenge for you. Herpes, whatever kind there are, because there's not just genital herpes, is about shame. It's a disease where people are more at risk for acquiring the disease or the virus because they have unresolved shame in their body. And it could even be about sexuality. Their shame could be. Some people are shamed when they're quite young, like young girls could be shamed as their breasts develop, maybe even in an innocent way, where someone in the family makes a comment, but they feel embarrassed, they feel shamed. Or young boys when they're having wet dreams or other type of experiences. So shame usually in adolescence, but it could happen younger in life. It doesn't have to be about, a sexual perception or a sexualized part of the body, but it's from shame. I think you would do really well with hypnotherapy. And I have someone on my website. Her name is Neela. She lives in New York. She's under my referral page on my website. She's really great with health issues. I think she's fantastic. So I think you should get some hypnotherapy with her because she'll help you to determine some of the core aspects. And then I know you're not going to like this. I think you need to maybe temporarily, if you want to, if you decide to have a session with Neela, you could do it. You could wait to do what I'm recommending, but maybe some modern medicine for just a short period of time to kind of get things calmed down. But I think some hypnotherapy would be good for you. It's about shame. Yeah. And that's why we haven't figured out how to heal it yet. Because shame is it's a mind-made energy. It's not a real energy. It's mind-made, and it's kind of stuck in the cells, like fear, isn't also a real emotion. But it gets stuck in people's cells who have perpetuated it. And some people have fear and shame unconsciously. But if they allow themselves to look at what their mind focuses on, they can get some healthy perceptions about why that indeed they are focusing on shame and or fear. But this is a shame. It's shame. So I want you to love. When you have an outbreak, I want you to love them. I want you to think they're cute. I want you to think they're adorable, because that's the opposite of shame. Appreciation, value, love, unconditional care. That's the opposite of shame. So those are my ideas for you.
Good morning, Marie. This is Susan from New Paltz, New York. I want to thank you for all of your offerings. They've really been nourishing my soul. I'm presently in your Soul's Journey class. So my question is feeling calm an aspect of joy? I know it brings me happiness to feel calm, but one of my default emotions is anxiety, and I've been able to release a lot of that since you spoke about it being a mind emotion. Also, I'm interested in knowing a little bit about my spirit guides. I know I have them, but
Yeah.
I don't get any visualizations, although when I ask for a sign, I do get signs. So anyway, your support is greatly appreciated. Sending you lots of love and hugs.
And thank you. Hugs and love back to you as well, Susan. Yes, it's calm. Joy is calm. High vibrational happiness is calm. It's not that frenetic, excited kind of energy typically. There's a calmness to it, like a beautiful, calm energy. Your spirit guides are really, really busy right now. So I think you're in a major movement of some sort of transformation occurring in your life. I would look for 2025 as some major transformation for you. I'm curious to know what it would be, but they're very busy in the background of your energy system. So that means they're working to help you create and allow this transformation to occur, which is really exciting. Very, very, very exciting. I hope that helps you and answers your question.
Hi, Marie. My name is Bianca. I was listening to your most recent episode today while I was working, and you gave the caller some homework, and I knew that I had to incorporate it into my own practice, and it was basically like, picture yourself as a child and give yourself a new home, new parents, this kind of thing, and just really see it. And I'm kind of paraphrasing, but I think you know what I'm referring to. But anyway, I was really having some mental struggles tonight when I got home from work. I deal with dissociation and derealization, depersonalization, and anyway, I was dealing with that, so I put on some healing frequency music, and I decided to practice that bit of homework that you had given to someone. And my tummy, deep in my tummy, like where you get butterflies, which I haven't had butterflies in such a long time, my tummy just filled with like the happiest feeling. Butterflies, joy, like me picturing, because I had a bad childhood, picturing myself in like this alternate home and with alternate parents, and it was just beautiful. So I really just want to thank you for that. And if you can maybe, I guess my question is if you could explain to me what the kind of gut reaction that I had to that practice, what that means. Is it related to a chakra, or yeah, if you could just let me know, that'd be great. Thank you. I'm sorry that this is kind of a long rambly one, but like I said, I'm I'm having some dissociation issues this evening. So thank you for bearing with me.
Hi, Bianca. I think you need to find a different word for dissociation for you. I think it's not the best explanation for you. I don't think it's accurate. That's just me. And I think you're caught up in the definition of that. So this is called like inner child work. And my guides taught me an exercise years ago. My sister and I used to complain about my dad. He wasn't around when we were growing up. He kind of took off. My parents didn't get along at all, but we were really young. I'm the oldest of 5. I was 7 when my parents divorced, and we would not see him for 5 or 6 years. And my sister and I were not even a full year apart. It was a Thanksgiving. We were at someone's house, and we were complaining about my dad, decades later at this beautiful holiday event, and we're complaining about this person we don't know very well, and who cares, right? Like, we're grown adults now. We have our own family. And I remember, because I believed in guides then and all of that, I was talking to my guides like, please, I don't want to complain about this. I don't want to think about it anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of the story. And my guides told me to allow myself to have an experience where my dad, or a father, doesn't have to be my dad, it can be whatever felt good to me, was in the home and gave me all the attention I wanted as a kid. And so they taught me to imagine that he was throwing me up in the air and was at my birthday parties and, whatever. You usually write down 5 things that you wish had been different. So, this isn't original, even though my guides taught me this. Therapists have been teaching inner child work, and this is kind of a way of doing it. There's all different ways to approach it. But one of them is to create a home that you love, and your parents show up and give you what you needed. And so the truth is that anything can heal at any moment. Anything. Doesn't matter how bad someone's childhood was, or a marriage, or career problems. What makes something heal is a shift in perception. So if we talk about, a childhood home, and you didn't like it, or it wasn't fun, or your parents weren't there, whatever the issues were, and you create a new home, a beautiful new home. Just putting some light around as the sun's starting to set here in North Carolina. It's 5 o'clock in the evening, pitch dark, I'm sure, in the Northwest right now. That you're going to change your perception. You're going to have a different experience. And so your body responded really well to this exercise. I grew up with, as I said, 4 siblings. I was the oldest, and we lived in kind of cramped quarters. My mom raised us by herself, even financially, without help. And so in the house that's my internal child work home, I'm the only child. My parents have tons of resources. They spoil me rotten, but they're not smothering. They allow me my independence, but they're constantly there for me, making sure I have everything that I need, just adore me and cherish me. It's just so fun to be an only child and be doted on. So you did a great job, and your body responded well. I would keep on doing this. It's not just a one and done kind of thing. It's okay, I think I worked on this one enough. What else does my inner child need? What else do my inner children need? Yeah, so good job. You did an excellent job. Congratulations.
Hi, Marie. My name is Rose, and I live in Eugene, Oregon. I've called into the radio show in the past, and it's really what you've told me and what I've heard you tell other people has really changed my life for the better.
Great.
And I'm hoping that you can help me with something I'm struggling with right now, which is my energy level. I've just been feeling so tired most of the time. And this has been going on pretty consistently for close to, 2 years now. And I'm really puzzled as to what's going on. I thought it was just I needed to be getting better sleep. And so I was focusing on that. And I do feel that I've made a lot of progress there. But still, I'm still feeling really tired most of the time. I don't know if it's hormonal related. I'm 42 years old. I have been taking herbs for my adrenals for
Great.
about 2 years now, which I think have been helping. I'm really healthy otherwise, and I have a red light that I use almost every day,
Great.
which I think is helping as well. I just really want to feel better, and it's so hard waking up every day feeling
Tired.
exhausted,
Yeah.
and it's hard for me to motivate to do things, even things that I enjoy. Sometimes I'm just so tired, and it feels sometimes like more than just tiredness. I don't know if, I'm just really, really stumped and would really love to have more days where I feel energized, which does happen once in a while. I'll have a good day where I feel more like myself and just happy and able to move through life with more ease and joy. So thank you for your help.
I thank you, Rose. I've seen a lot of people, and of course I talk to many, many people all the time, classes, sessions, this podcast, of course. And what people tend to think, like in your case, something happened 2 years ago, right? But it takes a long time to wear down someone's energy. It doesn't happen overnight, ever. I remember one of my friends was telling me a story about a friend of hers who, sorry, the lighting is a little weird here. Sorry about that if you're listening or watching on YouTube, who had a vaccine that led to hearing loss. And I'm sure that all happened, but the immune system has to already be depleted in order for something like a vaccine or a medication or something of that, a hormonal change to actually create a problem. So you have spent years worrying about everything. It's not even valuable. It's not important. And it's broken you down. So you got to stop worrying, and then you're going to be fine. You're doing all the right things, by the way, but you do need to work on this. You need to figure out how to not worry anymore, and you need to stick to it forever so that you don't have this problem continue to get worse and worse and worse. Okay? Okay.
Hi, Marie. I'm a first-time mom, and I'm currently on maternity leave with my son, and I'm going to have to go back to work in a couple of months, and I'm actually feeling really sort of heartbroken about it. I really don't want to go back. He'll only be a year old, and I feel like it's way too soon for me. I've really found so much joy in being a mom. I love being a mom more than I've loved anything else. And it hurts my heart that I kind of have to go back to a job that I actually found very stressful and unpleasant, and I just really didn't enjoy it. I try to keep a positive vibration, and I try to bring the best energy that I could to my job, and in some ways I succeeded, but it's still not what I want to do. And I have a long history of struggling with 9-to-5 jobs and just not really wanting to do that. It feels like a little bit of servitude for me. And I know that might sound really spoiled or something to some people, but it really is the truth for me. I am on the autism spectrum, so I've really struggled with working even 40 hours a week. And my job is in management, so it's very high pressure, high demand. There's a lot of social demands that I find so draining to meet. And I just recognize that I need to make a change as soon as possible. I really, really have the capacity to have a high vibration and to really love my life. And so it makes me sad to see myself struggle through keeping up with jobs like that are very high pressure. But I am the breadwinner as well in the family. So there's a lot on me to try to make money to keep things flowing financially. So my question is, I would really, really love to make a living off of my psychic gifts, but I have no idea where to start. And I feel like you might be the perfect person to ask. So I'm hoping you can maybe point me in the right direction. I'm working on raising my vibration and taking as many workshops as I can. But I still don't really know what specifically I should tap into if I wanted to make an income off of this. Like, I don't know if I should pursue maybe Reiki, or I did some tarot reading courses, which I was fairly good at. So I'm hoping you can maybe point me in the right direction of what I'm naturally skilled at so that I would know where to focus. Thank you so much, and sending you lots of love.
Thank you, Lindsay. So congratulations, you were home for a whole year. That's huge. I do think when we have one person in the family that's a breadwinner, the other person does have to figure out how to be a breadwinner too. That's just whether it's the man or the woman, I think it's only fair. That's just kind of how I feel about that. I don't think you should go back to your regular job full time. I would ask them if you could return part time. You guys did a great job financially over this last year. I bet you could work 3 days a week and you guys would still do great financially. You can't look at moving into a job that's about passion, regardless if it's about psychic ability or not, from how do I make money? How do I monetize this? You don't want to do this. Even when you're, like when I decided to be a nurse, I didn't think about how much money I would make. That never crossed my mind. I did it because it was fun and I was enjoying myself and I liked the people. I liked the work I did. I was thrilled that nurses make a certain amount of money and I loved the flexibility. You need flexibility in my job. I could work weekends. I could work 3 different types of shifts. My children's father and I worked opposite shifts for years so that our kids could be cared for. And although I technically worked part-time, I worked 3/12. That's almost full-time. I mean, that is in my mind full-time. But I worked 3/12 night shifts for a couple years so that only he or I took care of our children. So I wouldn't go back to work full-time. I would focus on the joy of whatever it is that you're learning, which is you got to get out of your head. You got to get out of the fear. You got to get out of the worry because none of that equates joy. You got to be in that calm energy, right? And you're going to need to practice to find out what really makes you happy and what brings you great joy. You have to practice. You have to practice. That is critical. So you're going to have to practice doing readings. Since you did the tarot and you did fairly well, then go practice. Get some people to work with. Go do some readings. People can't just go in any profession, just go from learning a few things and not practicing it. Even nurses. I worked in a hospital for 2 years before I got my RN. So the program I worked in, we worked in the hospital. We learned a lot while we were in the hospital for 2 years. So we practiced giving shots before we did it alone. We practiced putting in Foley catheters before we ever did it alone. So you need to practice reading on people and see how much you like it and how much fun it is. But I wouldn't go back to your job full time. I don't think it makes you happy. I really don't. I hope that's helpful. Thank you.
Good morning, Marie. My name is Monica. I live in Costa Rica, and I had a reading with you last year. In that reading, we talked about a romantic partner for me, which I'm really, really excited about. Because to tell you the truth, I'd given up on that because I'm older and, whatever. So I'm working on resistance, and I've realized there is quite a bit of resistance. And I think I'm doing a good job at that, releasing that resistance. And I do find myself getting impatient though, which is probably not good. But anyway, I would like to know, what do you see as the best way for me to bring in this romantic partner? Do I need to move from Costa Rica, which I'm willing to do, and I might do anyway, just don't know where, and or go on a dating site here, which are limited, but that's okay. I'm assuming it happens. It happens for my daughters, so it might happen. It could happen for me. Anyway, that's my main question to you. If you see anything, give me any advice. I'd really, really appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you,
And
Monica.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, Monica, because you've been in difficult relationships primarily in your life, when it comes to manifesting, you have to feel what you want as if it's already happening. But if you keep thinking about the difficulty in previous relationships, you're just going to keep attracting potential difficulties. Or when some people no longer will allow a difficult relationship in, but they don't know how to feel an incredible person walking into their life that is well suited for them, then they don't manifest anything. They just stay single. So do not think about what it's like to be in a relationship from your previous experiences. Don't think about that. Think about being in a relationship with someone that's an earthmate, not a soulmate, someone who's fun, playful, you're well suited, you laugh your heads off, it's easy, as if you're already in that type of relationship. That's what I want you to do. That's exactly what I want you to do. Okay, I hope that's helpful. That's going to keep you busy. That's going to be really great homework for you. And I want to thank everyone for listening today. Filmed on December 24th, 2024. Tomorrow's Christmas here. I wish everybody happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. And I'm sure I'll talk to you sometime in the new year. Thank you so much and joyful blessings. Bye-bye.